Hello, this is the final Boat People Writing Challenge video that I, Tom Palmer, the children's author, I'm doing for you. If you've made it this far, thank you for hanging in there. So I'm writing I'm doing sort of ideas for a story based around someone called Sir Ben Helfgott. And you're hopefully writing or planning a story to do with a refugee who you've chosen. And I suggested some like Anne Frank and Alfonso Davis and others, but you may have chosen someone else. And I'm hoping that doing our who, what, where, when, etc. is helping you. The last one we're doing is the why. And like in the notes that I did with this, I put why do people do something? Because like why do people do something is so important. For instance, one example I gave was why does Elsa in Frozen completely blank her sister for years? What was her sister called? I've forgotten her sister's name. Anyway, it's a while since I watched that film. Why does she blank her sister? Like it's created. They live in the same house. They don't see each other, and she refuses to see it. And you might think, well, Elsa must be really mean, but as you know, there's a really good reason why she didn't want to see her sister. So that's why does a character behave in a certain way, and that is really important to understand the motivation of a character. Because if you're reading a book or watching a film or even listening to someone you know explaining something about their life, if you don't believe the reason they say they've done something, it's kind of like it feels like a lie. And if it's in a story, it feels like it's not believable, and a story has to be believable. You have to believe the who, the where, the when, the what, the how, the who, and very much the why, the motivation of the character. So I've tried to do this with my character, Sir Ben Helfgott, so that I can model how I would do it, so you can have a go at doing it for your refugee character or real person. So here's some why questions. So why did your refugee leave their country of origin? Because because he was persecuted. He actually he was threatened. Even after the war, he went home to his country, his home village, and he was threatened and driven away. So he was persecuted and threatened, and basically his life was in danger. And that it's really important to understand why someone would leave their country. Any refugees you see on the telly or hear about, we see people who haven't been able to carry much. They've been wearing the same clothes probably for weeks or months. They're really struggling, and we see them arriving in the countries they want to try and go to for safety. But we don't know their backstory at all. We don't know the why, and it's really important for us to know the why refugees go from one place to another. So this is why Sir Ben Helfgott left his home country and the place he ended up in the Czech Republic. Why did your character want to go to a new country? So, I think this is universal for all refugees, isn't it? And this is part of the rules around refugees, why that countries that are safe should offer that safety and fairness. Safety and fairness, and there's a better word. I don't think I can pause this. I need to think of the best word. Safety and fairness. Maybe you can think of another word, because my brain's not working great today. So safety and fairness, and like the basic things that a human being needs, which is shelter, food, water, and then other things like work and love, all those things. And so they're the sort of things that he wanted to come to another country for, to feel safe, to escape from the things he was moving away from. And finally, any other thoughts that you want to add here for the motivations of your character? I think the interesting thing, if I look back over the things I've looked at, it's the weightlifting was the big thing for him, and it's his desire to help refugees. So weight lifting, I'm going to put, and his empathy with refugees. Excuse me. So that's the other thing, and they're big elements in what motivates my character. That's why he left the country he came from. That's why he wanted to come to this country, what he thought he would be getting, and he did get in 1945 and in the next few years, he did get those things, and that is a wonderful testament to our country and something we should still keep doing, definitely. And then there was his weightlifting motivated and his wanting to help refugees. So that's kind of like, that's how I'll go about writing a story, planning a story. I've now filled 5 sheets with lots of ideas and thoughts. They're all over the place. They are not connected or linked to each other. What I'm going to do next, if you want to watch, excuse me, the next video, is I'm going to do next what I do when I'm writing a story. I cut things up. I put them in scrapbooks. I get pictures, and we're going to do that in the next video. But thank you for listening to this one, and that was the why, the motivation of the character. In the next video, we'll be taking all these sheets and trying to turn them into some sort of a plan for a story. Thank you for listening.